So it must have been a rough week for Aysia, David's friend, all right? There'd been talk that she was David's love interest. We thought, maybe it's cap, maybe it's not true. Maybe these rumors of this love triangle between David and Celeste and Aysia aren't true. But we found out in court, in the preliminary trial, Celeste got murdered the day after checking David for constantly being with Aysia. Celeste was jealous, right? Now, at the end of the day, she's just a kid. She can't really be held responsible for not being able to control her emotions. She was a teenage girl, and she really had no business being in this complicated love triangle dynamic that David had put her in. Now, I wonder how much Aysia actually knew about Celeste. We know that she was allegedly informed that, she was 13 while everything was going on back in 2024. It's all very, very mysterious and strange. But basically, in this video, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into David and Aysia's situation, and I'm going to just try and get to the bottom of this thing. So TMZ have been talking about Aysia since the information came out. They said the David murder case, the woman who sent Celeste into a jealous rage, right? I haven't seen this picture of her before. She might need to just shave all her hair off and move to another country at this point because it's hot for her in America, all right? But it says, here's Aysia Collins, the woman's... Sorry, I can't talk today. Here's Aysia Collins, the woman who Celeste Rivas Hernandez seemingly grew jealous of the day before David allegedly murdered her and the supposed catalyst behind Celeste's threatening text. I wonder whether you could make an argument that David actually killed Celeste for Aysia. Not for her in that she told her to, but he might have finally got himself into a relationship with, an adult female, and, he really was unable to move forward because Celeste was holding him to account for his despicable crimes. And it's possible that part of his motivation was, if I get Celeste out the way, I'm going to be able to move on to this real relationship with Aysia. It's crazy. So she was named in court during the David preliminary hearings. Text messages between Celeste and David showed Celeste erupting over David's friendship with the model and streamer. It's a stretch calling her either of those things. In one of the texts read aloud in court, Celeste sent David a threatening text after confronting him about hanging out with Aysia in his Hollywood Hills home. Said, "Oh my God, I swear to God, I'll kill you. She was in my damn seat," referring to Aysia. Text messages show that Celeste also threatened to strangle David, tell lies to her father about him, mutilate his thing-a-ling, and end his career and life, apparently as part of a jealous rage. Doesn't mean she deserved anything that happened to her, but that is the narrative. It says, for her part, Aysia says she confronted David about his alleged sexual relationship with Celeste, who was 14 years old when she died. Aysia claimed David manipulated her into believing Celeste was an adult. Insane. Aysia said she turned her back on David after he was arrested and charged with Celeste's murder. And in hindsight, she says David was a psychopath who lied and betrayed everyone around him. She swears she never dated David, and she slammed haters who claim that she was cosplaying and mocking Celeste, insisting she wants justice for the slain teenager. Which took her getting kicked out of a party to say all that, didn't it? David's preliminary hearing ended on Monday. We know all of this stuff. So on Reddit, obviously, they were absolutely just frying Aysia, and says TMZ posts Celeste as the aggressor in a takedown with Aysia as a little sweetheart puff piece. I just puked a little. That's not what I got from it, but arguably they were kind of feeding into this narrative that like Celeste was in a jealous rage rather than David being in just a PDF style rage. Anywho, said when these people are going to understand that this kid is a minor, her reaction was the reaction like any kid, especially a kid especially a kid who'd been essayed and had neglectful parents. Literally this, people act as if what David did to her sexually was not already physically violent when she literally mentioned pain, and without even statutory R word by an adult man as a middle schooler is violent, full stop. Minors can't consent. People comparing her sending texts to the violent actual reaction she was already experiencing just reflects how much our laws and society don't understand what abuse and essay looks like. It's so sad. Statutory R word is a violent act in itself. I think even regardless of her family situation, she would have done this like any other kid. This was an 11 to 14-year-old child, considering the whole relationship timeline, who got attention from a global pop star who had connections, wealth, success. If I'm not mistaken, Celeste had a passion for singing, dancing, and wanted to make it in the industry David had established a successful career in. If given attention and promised a special bond, any and every kid would have been infatuated by this. I don't think any amount of love from a family would have kept her inside her home when she had the opportunity to be with a famous singer. Even an adult who would be even an adult would be tempted to leave their life behind. So a child who's naturally more naive is devastating and pretty understandable. Celeste is the victim 100%. I don't mean to blame a kid in case it comes across like that. David is a sick psychopath who took advantage of an influenceable child with a dream. Said all of those things can be true at once. Like I said, it doesn't matter that she was immature and out of control. None of it matters, because no matter what, she said she was still a child who was in a situation she should have never been in. The adults in her life failed her, so unfortunately she never had a chance. One adult failed her very badly, and his name's David. All right, let's not get too crazy with this. TMZ has been connected to his defense team, just lawyers playing more lawyer games. Yeah, there were people in that courtroom who were connected to the defense team, who were cuddling, whispering things to Blair Burke in between sessions. There's a few weirdos in there, I'm not going to lie. So anyway, yeah, we get the gist, all right? I'm not going to read the same thing over and over again. But what's interesting is now a resurfaced song that was apparently made by David, including Aysia in the music video, has resurfaced again. So they're saying resurfacing this very telling song and video, written and posted on the 25th of August, featuring featuring Aysia on David's ex. Not just featuring Aysia, but featuring her wearing an outfit very similar to what Celeste passed away in, and with the hair a little bit Celestified. And then the lyrics, it says, "Can you feel the weight on you? I'm running away from you. I'm hiding my face from you like I needed some space from you. Because I wouldn't wait on you. How much can you take from me? What, like when the little girl was threatening to ruin your career? Well, okay. You said you'd catch my tears with one hand, would you? Would you let me cry on you? I'm bleeding out. My blood stained on your clothes. Would you let me die on you?" Disgusting. I'm still waiting for the day when I become your favorite. I become your favorite, but I can see it on your face. You're in love with my replacement. Who? Aysia, who was in the music video, who we now know that you stabbed her the day after you had a big argument of her being jealous about Aysia. This, every single time I read a David lyric, it's like, it just looks more and more incriminating, and it just lines up more with the stuff that we've heard in these hearings. It's crazy. So you're in love with my replacement. You're in love with my replacement is wild now that we know what we know. Said, baby, I can find no peace in the emptiness. Can you tell me the difference between loving you and a heart attack? And it makes me feel like a maniac you are. I can travel all night to you, no matter the distance. What, like when you drove to Santa Barbara in the middle of the night after allegedly murdering her, leaving your home at 11 p.m. and coming back at 7 a.m. looking for a place to bury her all night long? I can travel all night to you, no matter the distance. Remember those days cooking up with you in the kitchen? What, like the cooking live stream that you did where you put this minor that you were dating on stream on Twitch? You've been on my mind every second, every minute, and I just want to tell you that I miss you. You miss her because she's been murdered. Horrible. This sick fuck is writing this from her perspective. He was obsessed with the idea of her being obsessed with him and getting jealous over other girls. Full narcissist. The lyrics are heartbreaking. I'm still waiting for the day that I become your favorite. It's true. She wasn't really trying to leave him. She wanted the dream that he previously sold her. And the replacement girl is in the video. Sick, psychotic, narcissist, evil. It's crazy. So most narcissistic men are that way because he has a mommy who encouraged and supported his abusive, self-absorbed behavior rather than holding him accountable when he needed to be. Ladies, your sons need to be able to handle rejection and disappointment without acting like complete psychopaths. I don't think that's a big ask. Even forgetting about the dreadful actions for a second, his lyricism is awful. Like, genuinely, what is he even going on about? I'm not his typical demographic. I was never a fan of his music. But ever since I started reading his lyrics, I wondered how people thought he was this great songwriter. He sucks. He's shit at music. According to the record, she was wearing a tube top that night. I can't help but feel the video has some sort of significance. Written after her death and dismemberment with the lyrics, "I'm bleeding out and your blood stained on my clothes. Would you let me die on you?" I don't know what he's doing with his fingers, but I can't help. It must mean something. It is so crazy. So crazy that even was a thing. So Aysia was actually there when, David was kind of seen showing off this knife. This is the whole thing. Me and David are trying to layer our... Oh, okay. No, my bad. I thought this was a different link. I haven't seen this one. This is them fucking around with a knife in the house. Do I know? I look scared. Wait, I'm him. Oh. Me and David are trying to layer our... Do I know? I look scared. Wait, I'm him. Oh. That's fucked. I'm not gonna lie, that's messed up. So, this is crazy as well. So obviously we saw a lot of pictures. I saw pictures in court of Celeste with the red dyed hair. And there was obviously a lot of talk about You know, Celeste had her hair dyed red when she passed away, when some of the last pictures were taken of her. And Aysia did the same thing. She dyed her hair red. She switched it up. And again, a lot of people are saying that she was doing several things to sort of make a mockery of Celeste, you know, copy her. I don't know whether she's doing this to make herself more attractive to David. You know, she might want to get 10 years younger if she really wants to be attractive to David. But, you know, it's sort of like all just hints at his obsession with Celeste and her trying to fit in, doing her hair numerous ways like Celeste, dyeing it red or curling it or whatever. She had a whole thing where she was like, oh, to say that I had similar hair to Celeste on purpose is racist because we're both persons of color. And it's like, don't know about that. It seemed like you was trying to do anything you could to get this guy's favor. So obviously Celeste was seen numerous times with red hair. We saw images in the courtroom of her and David actually kiss him and she had the red hair. For those of you doubting if the girl with red hair in the previous post is Celeste, red hair, right? A kid. It's her. It was her in every photo we've seen with David and the mysterious straightened red hair. Yeah. So the photo of David in the car with a girl with red straight hair could be her. Is there a date of the picture to compare it to? It's her. It's her. This is all her. And they showed other pictures taken in the car where you could just see both of their faces, like selfies, same angle, same look, like same day, same outfits. Like it was her. They took their other pictures he didn't post of them two, just normal, like both of them and their faces fully on show with the red hair people. So another thing that kind of resurfaced allegedly a few months after Celeste's dismemberment, all right, was when Aysia basically made repeated jokes about dating minors and killing them if they snitch. And again, I think she knew. She'd been messaged by somebody to say, this is a missing poster of the little girl. She's a child. And she said, no way, that's my friend's girlfriend. She said, oh, I confronted David, but he just kept telling me to chill out, man. So eventually I just chilled out, man. Absolute clown. Why is this so small? I don't want to get in trouble playing this clip. I'm going to play the clip. Hang on.
I win, you got to get a number.
Oh shit.
I'm good. That's someone said that. Someone said that.
Damn, bro.
But we got to be low key about it.
I'm just hoping, like, we're at an arcade. I hope I don't get a number, bro. Like, no.
You got to ask the age first.
No, you never asked it.
He said, I don't want to get a P charge. And he said, you got to ask the age first. She said, no, I never asked the age. What?
You always gotta,
you gamble. We gotta gamble.
Find out later after you.
You find out later after you do stuff. That's what she says. That's a joke she's making 2 months after the alleged murder.
Yeah.
You just gotta gamble your life.
No, it's not gambling nothing, you know. If they snitch, you know, you just...
Whoa.
Aysia, you need to just get the fuck off the internet for a bit, to be honest, because this is every time we see you, you're just saying something just disgusting.
Why would they snitch?
I'm kind of prepping to see whose number I'm gonna get, like who's gonna be down for me. No, bro, stop, bro. I'm not talking to today.
Today?
Just bear in mind that my team has censored this to make sure that there's nothing offensive in that.
How old are you?
22. On a good day.
What about a bad day? Feel it?
Shit. I'm gonna have to ask it out. I'm gonna have to ask it.
What the? No, there's someone old enough.
Yeah, someone's dad.
Yeah, look.
Just absolute weirdo. So this has been kind of going viral on Reddit now, and people have been just saying that Asia's just a weirdo, basically. So this is saying on July the 16th, 2025, Twitch stream with Yearnboy, 2 months after Celeste's dismemberment, Aysia Collins made repeated jokes about dating minors and silencing them if they snitch. She very much needs to rethink her career plans of being a streamer because she's so done. No company will ever touch her and she'll be harassed off the internet. Time to get a real job. Go to school, move to a different country, change your name, dye your hair. Do you really think that will happen? It's such a bummer because it looks like she's still living her life. She's weird as F. She was mentioned by her full name in this article in LA Mag. Shout out to LA Mag. She's going to be all over the news and not in a good way. She was mentioned in one of the last texts of a child who was essayed by a famous singer before he murdered her. She'll have to limit comments on all her platforms and she won't be able to interact with her audience. People will show up to where she's streaming live. I don't know how you can be a successful streamer when you can't interact with your audience. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think she's about to go radioactive. She'd been radioactive. We saw what happened to her at the party. Oh, I'm so upset I got kicked out of a party. Now I'm going to talk about this. She's trash. Pick-me women are so dangerous to other women and will constantly put other women in their lives in danger for a crumb of male validation. They're so dangerous. She's one of the boys. What an effing freak. Where is the funny ha-ha in what she's saying? Just like when she was on stream with David looking at kids talking about, I'm a gooner. Oh, ha, ha. It's so funny. She was laughing her face off. This is fucking weird. How can she say this and not at least know about what happened? She's so fucking stupid. It's unbelievable she had a platform. She ain't got no platform. He said, if I see you with... This was said in court, I can confirm this. Burke highlighted another exchange in which David wrote, how are you going to say you feel the distance when you've been pushing me away since the beginning of the year? Celeste replied, if I see you with Aysia one more time, I will make anonymous accounts. You won't be able to avoid me leaking all the shit I got about you. Some of Celeste's last texts were about the role Aysia played in her and David's split. I think Aysia knew and intentionally taunted the girl. Now she's trying to save face, but it's all over her IG. She hasn't even fully cut ties because it's the clout she wants. Here's what I wonder... You want to know something crazy? Here's what I wonder. I wonder if Aysia, not realizing Celeste had been murdered, but realizing that she was out of the picture because she was aware of her existence, started doing the red hair and doing the hair like her to troll her, thinking she was still alive and going to be hating, jealous somewhere on an anonymous TikTok account, seeing it, not realizing that she was in his car outside the property. Absolute insanity. Okay. So Aysia would apparently refuse to discuss what proof she was shown about Celeste's age. Obviously, we've broken down her little tantrum that she threw on Twitch previously. But basically, she said, no, I can't tell you what David showed me. David apparently showed her proof that Celeste was 19. And she just swallowed it, gobbled it up. Just, yep, all right, believe you. And she won't say what it was. I would wager, just in my opinion, my humble opinion, as somebody that knows everything about this case, that the proof was just nothing, was like a picture or a text or just bullshit. Maybe a fake ID. We know he had fake IDs, but at the very least, I think it would have just been some bullshit. And she was just like, it'll be more convenient to just go with it.
I was like, no, show me proof. And no, like, I can't, like, explain to you guys what he showed me. I can't.
You're full of shit, love. You're full of shit. No, I can play it again.
I was like, no, show me proof. And no, like, I can't, like, explain to you guys what he showed me. I can't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right, Aysia. No, I can't show. What a fucking clown. What an absolute embarrassing excuse of a woman. I've not made a post on D4VD for a long time. Hopefully this will be allowed up. I think people will need to see Aysia lied to the public. As you can see in the clip, Aysia claims David showed her proof of Celeste being 19, but she can't even describe what he showed her. What? Did she forget? Come on, she's making this up in my opinion. She also lied in her original post saying that she didn't know the girl nor her age. Cap. Both statements were lies. She very much knew the girl and her age. I don't believe she confronted David. David was a rich, popular star that Aysia was using to boost herself. I'm sure she really confronted him. I think that's sarcasm. In fact, if she had confronted him, she wouldn't be here to tell the tale. She might be dead. I doubt that too, but hey. She was on tour with David and remained by his side with Robert even after the body was found. And it took her all the way to February 2026 before she could bring herself to say agreed to somebody who said justice for Celeste. But for months before that, she was flipping off the camera, telling people it was none of their business if she talked to the police and blocking anyone who mentioned Celeste. In fact, I had a channel called Justice for Celeste that got blocked by Aysia, but she's supposedly on our side. That's simply not true. She only changed her stance after Neo Langston got arrested. She knew she had to save her own ass. Do not be deceived. This woman does not care about Celeste, and she never did. She cares about herself and herself alone. She only recently spoke out about Celeste because she got kicked out of a drinking party over the issue. You can tell in that video her main concern is a party. That's a fact. She says, I always defended Jason and Sakura, but they stabbed me in the back. Well, nobody ever thought Jason and Sakura was involved in this crime, so to compare her own involvement with David to Sakura's is ridiculous. Sakura was only at David's house once that we know of. Aysia was there daily and was on tour with David after he parked the Tesla. Aysia was like, why are we blaming Sakura for David's actions? We are not. I've never believed Sakura was involved for 2 seconds, but I tell you who I do believe is involved, or at least knew about it, is Aysia Collins. She thought that she was going to convince us all she was innocent by using Sakura and Jason as examples. She also thought Jason would see that video and let her back in his parties. LOL! Aysia goes on in that video to say, I'm trying not to cry, as she's fighting back a smile. This woman is not trustworthy. I gave her the benefit of the doubt at times, but her name has come up more than anybody's, and she has made more secondhand comments about murder in just video clips than David did his whole career. That's not true. I pray that anyone who believes this woman will open up their eyes and see the truth. She may not be able to be charged with anything by law, but nobody should ever follow or support her as a social media influencer again. What's funny is her name came up several times when we were at the preliminary hearings. Didn't hear Neo's name once, all right? For all the hate that Neo got, didn't hear his name once, was never mentioned. I mean, if Celeste knew enough about her to have a pretty, I would say, big problem with her, I guess the reverse would have had to work as well. You can't hang out with a bunch of people in a group all the time and claim to be unaware in a bubble of, oh, I really only knew David, not her. Because if you were really so hyper-focused on him, girl, that's a whole other can of worms. Anyway. She claimed she was shown multiple IDs indicating Celeste was 19. She claimed the missing poster sent to her didn't have the age displayed, which is a fucking lie. She's full of shit. And then this is her making... we already saw that. So, in a deleted TikTok, a lot of people think she's talking about David. Some people have said she's not talking about David, but this was going around soon after the preliminary hearing. And again, it's just another really embarrassing, horrific thing on her name.
Hey, what's up? Would you be down to be in some content with me?
Sure, yeah, I could be down. What would we be doing?
Oh, I'm going to exploit you, sexualize you, and then embarrass you on stream. Wait, what? Oh, my bad. I meant we're gonna go on like a date on stream.
I don't really know if...
Oh, and I have a girlfriend, by the way, like a secret one. But don't mind her.
Then why not make content with her?
It's just content. It's not like my girl like cares or anything. Like, sure, she might spam call me because she feels like I'm cheating on her, but like she understands because it's work.
Right.
I'll be real with you. It sounds like she's talking about David. It matches up perfectly to what's going on with the whole jealousy arc. They said, I wanted to bring more attention to this. I was advised to post it as well. I'm going to copy and paste what I commented. I'm not sure if it's been shared, but it seems to be her mocking the David and Celeste situation, proving that she knew about them being in a relationship. If talking about them, she goes on to claim the person she's referring to, that's unnamed, claims the guy exploits her, sexualizes her, and then it proceeds to embarrass her. Crazy find. I mean, it's an oddly specific thing for her to say. So many weird coincidences in this case. Holy shit, she needs to take the stand because this is a confession. Does anyone have records of her Twitch appearances? We've been seeing them. So another kind of older resurfaced post about Celeste getting a tattoo and the people around David being older than her has been going around. So here's the thing, right? This has been going around a while. I've read this a few times. And people are saying, I'm confused about Aysia and Celeste Herrera. From the messages I've seen recently, it seems Celeste was upset about the relationship David had with Aysia, but what I find disturbing is how many similarities there seem to be between Celeste Rivas and Herrera. Around the same time, they both had dyed red hair, a septum piercing. I also read a post claiming Celeste allegedly wanted the same butterfly tattoo Herrera had. Makes me wonder whether that scum of the earth David was trying to make Celeste look like Herrera while also making her jealous and pitting her against those other girls. I also read somewhere those girls treated Celeste like shit. They know more, all right? So this is kind of a breakdown, basically, of, I think it was, hang on. Yeah, I'll read you this. So this is basically a random post somebody's put up, and they claim that they have mutuals with David. So I have a friend who was friends with David, and I was around David because of him. Heads up, it's a long read. My friend and I found out about the car September the 8th, and my friend contacted David after, and he just responded with, I can't say anything about it because I don't know what's going on. My car was stolen, and I'm talking to the police. That was the last thing David said. The thing started to come out online, and the ID of the victim, we realized that the body that was found was his girlfriend Celeste, the 19-year-old we met a few times at his after shows, kickbacks, and parties. One thing I can talk about is I'm 100% sure is the two Celestes because I've met them both and spoken to them both. One thing about that, looking back, I find weird is that when they were both in the same room, the older one calls herself Cece. If the other one was there and the other wasn't, then she would call herself Celeste. Now, I wasn't too close to David, but my friend was. He was always invited to events or kickbacks at his place or his shows at hotels. He would bring me with him. He was always surrounded by other streamers and TikTokers, Mark's fat ass and this guy Ben. Now, when he would stream with other people, at his place, he would pull Celeste the minor to the side and tell her he was going to stream and that she can watch him in the room so the girl would go hide out. I specifically remember this because this happened during a tattoo party he threw, and there was a female artist who was from the Inland Empire She refused to tattoo the minor Celeste because she needed a copy of the consent forms. The minor Celeste was asking for a butterfly behind her neck like Cece, and I remember the artist kept saying no, and David was getting annoyed and told them she lost out on the clientele that he was going to bring her, and she said it's fine, it's just her policy, just like his NDA. He tried to tell the artist that Celeste already had tattoos and that she shouldn't worry about it because she's 19. She told David, dude, I'm not going to lie, she looks 13, I need the ID. I respect your NDA, please respect my policy. He just said, okay. Pulled Celeste to the side and said he was going to call his other artist later and that he was going to stream and that she should go to the room. She can come back out when he's done, and he kissed her on the forehead, came back to apologize, and gave the girl a side hug. By the way, I was getting tattooed. This doesn't seem relevant. While this back and forth was happening, when he left, I asked her if this was the first time she tattooed him. She said no, it was her second time there because last party this fat guy called Mark told her Celeste was a minor, but she wasn't sure if it was true or not. But if so, Jay wanted nothing to do with that stuff, and she didn't understand why the last party she came to, that CC girl, was getting called a different name, but she couldn't remember it wasn't Celeste. I tried reaching out to the artist John on Instagram to see what happened after the last party. I seen her where my friend got tattooed. It was before David's My House Is Not Home tour, but didn't get a reply. I'm hearing the older Celeste is claiming she never knew or met Celeste. That's a damn lie, because this is Celeste in the back, and that's her looking annoyed and miserable as usual. When I spoke to her, she always seemed bothered when David's girlfriend was around and she wasn't getting his attention. It always seemed like a love triangle, so I thought, and it turns out that's true. I find it weird there's no info on David's whereabouts. Anyway, yeah, that is crazy. Okay, so just kind of goes to show you that this whole little love triangle, and they were all around Celeste, and there was jealousy and all this kind of stuff. He's a malignant narcissist. They love triangulating other partners to make the main person they're with feel jealous and uneasy. It's a way of cementing their control over the person, even if it's just someone they flirt with occasionally. He was definitely using those women to hurt and confuse her. Pick-me girls play these roles extremely well, so Aysia was an obvious candidate for that. It is twisted. So this is another relationship theory about Aysia and David. I haven't seen many people talk about this in depth, but with the info that's come out, I completely understand it was used as part of the defense strategy for David's benefit, but does it hold any weight? Were they more than just friends? Was she the replacement that David's been speaking about in songs? We all thought it could have been Herrera, but what if it was Aysia? She has been a lookalike for Celeste in a few of his music videos. Personally, I don't see Aysia even liking David on that level, but this post is just out of curiosity. What do you think the depth of their friendship was? People saying, I definitely think there was more to their friendship than Aysia is admitting, although we don't have enough evidence to say they were romantically involved. I think they were, at least at some point. Celeste's reaction alone doesn't prove anything, but her messages clearly show that Aysia's presence in David's life was a serious and ongoing issue between them. Clearly, Aysia was around both of them enough for Celeste to feel genuinely threatened by their closeness. Considering Aysia's involvement in the group, the time she spent around Celeste, and all her questionable behaviors afterwards, I don't believe that her current attempt to portray herself as someone who barely knew what was happening, whether she was the replacement, is still speculation, but I think there was much more going on than a casual friendship. Aysia said, we were just homies in the post she made. I think they were friends with benefits. He was wearing her hoodie. She said it was hers. I think her and the older Celeste enjoyed bullying Celeste and winding her up by flirting with David, and I think he fully weaponized this to keep Celeste on her toes. Wow. So narcissistic people love to pit people against each other. There was clearly a reason Celeste became so angry and uncomfortable whenever David was around Aysia. Even Aysia apparently going to his house to pick up Coachella tickets was enough to upset Celeste, which makes me think there was totally more history or tension than Aysia is admitting. Everything makes sense now. Why she never spoke out at first, why she denied knowing her. She may have even been the female who refused to testify. I think they were seeing each other on the low, possibly even still together up until recently. Only now that the evidence is mounting on David has she attempted to clear her name and the association with David. They probably ended things. I wonder if she was pulling up to that house where he was arrested. I wonder. So people have been discussing whether Aysia knew the entire time. People saying it all makes sense now. Why days before she made a video clarifying her name, she knew exactly what was going on with her and David and knew her real age. I wouldn't be surprised if she in some way, shape or form helped with Celeste. People saying, you know what? I don't care if he was with Aysia or whatever. I wish he left Celeste alone. He already did the damage, but I wish he left that girl alone after that March conversation. I would be surprised if this clout-chasing vapid twat had initiated bullying tactics against Celeste. I wouldn't be surprised I would not be surprised if this clout-chasing vapid twat had initiated bullying tactics against Celeste whenever she was around David. 100% mean girl. Me, I energy. She was probably a bully to Celeste. So sad. How can anyone defend Aysia or David at this matter is beyond me. Celeste will get her justice. With Celeste out the way, David could be with Aysia without fear of Celeste reporting him. She is in on it, in my opinion. You remember this going around? Crazy. So there's a lot of theories going around about Aysia, and I think that it's only right. Okay. Ooh, what have I done? Press the wrong button. Here we go. My personal theory on Aysia. No, I do not think Aysia did anything. The only one at fault for this is David. This is mere speculation and a theory at the end of the day. We know that an innocent life was taken by the hands of a monster, so please don't attack me for literally just theorizing. I don't know why, but I feel like Celeste had every right to be mad and upset about David being around Aysia. I wholeheartedly believe that he had something going on with her, even if it was just one-sided to where he liked her, but she didn't reciprocate. He just seems like that much of a loser that he would find himself in a predicament like that. My theory is he started to develop feelings for Aysia and wouldn't let her go due to the messages where he clearly was annoyed that Celeste wouldn't just accept that he was hanging around with her. Mind you, he's literally been manipulating a child to believe they were the end game. Then, when Celeste started to fight back, he was basically like, it's time for her to go. My career is popping off. Girls my age are throwing themselves at me. This little charade is over. I feel like Aysia had a part to play, not with like helping him, but had a role in the reasoning for him ending her life. Celeste became a threat to him in his future, even though the dumbass is the one who built the threat in the first place. What an imbecile. From what I've seen, I think the reason they broke up after their Texas trip to visit his parents is because of the pregnancy. I think maybe his parents told him to distance himself from her. After that, it seems like David kept Celeste around in what was basically an illegal situationship. They would hang out, hook up, and that was it. Apparently, they broke up like 8 times, so it doesn't even sound like they were really dating anymore. It also seemed like Celeste wanted the relationship to continue, but David didn't want anything beyond S. Then Aysia came into the picture, and I think it was like the tipping point. It seemed like Celeste was upset that Aysia took her seat at Coachella and replaced her in David's life. She acted like someone who was hurt, said things she probably didn't fully mean because she wanted attention, and unfortunately, we all know how that ended. Aysia was a catalyst for Celeste's jealousy, but his parents might have influenced his reason to break up with Celeste, although he refused to stop having S with her. Seems obvious the reason she lashed out is because she was an abused child who was groomed, manipulated, lied to, strung along, plied with drugs, alcohol, impregnated, and promised a relationship that would culminate in marriage. She didn't want to accept that he was using her. I was wondering as well if David started to catch feelings for Aysia at some point in the opportunities he had through his career. He realized his life is exciting with all the traveling, parties, etc. The total opposite of how he lived before he blew up. He enjoyed this new life, and Celeste was part of his old life that he detached from. She became a burden. Aysia was the girl he could party with and stream without worrying about inappropriate age differences. He eventually started to see her as his new love interest, and she fitted into his new lifestyle. It's a really, really good theory. Yeah, it's crazy. So look, I'll show you one more post and I'll move along. But this is Aysia when David was arrested, just to give you the full picture. This is Aysia's IG story when David was charged with murder, right, on 4/20/2026. Shit is sickening. Was it David and his PDF tendencies that were sickening, or is it your new boyfriend that you was just getting some motion with, got arrested and taken away from you? Is that what's sickening? Have you seen her IG comments? They're roasting her alive. Deserved, in my opinion. I don't think she was involved, but her attitude has been nasty this whole time, as if she's the victim. I mean, she didn't know Celeste's age in 2024. Exactly, yet turned a blind eye. David took her and Neo as his groupies on tour because they're low IQ, and let's be honest, they were willing to look the other way. I'm going to leave it there, okay? I think that more will come out about Aysia. I'm hoping she does get forced to take the stand, because clearly she knew a lot. And this love triangle theory that we thought could have been nonsense at a certain point turned out to be absolutely true. Now, we need to know about the interactions between Aysia and Celeste, and I do wonder if this mean girl bullying narrative is true. I would be heartbroken to find out that these older girls were ganging up on this minor to bully her, and she ended up losing her life in this horrific way. So sad. Rest in peace to Celeste. Nobody gives a shit about Aysia. She needs to just go away. She needs to get off the internet, log off, move out the country with Sean Rock and them, and just fuck off, because now we've heard too much. It sounds like you knew. So anyway, I will update you guys if I hear anything else. That's it for now. I appreciate you watching this update, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.